Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the live stream. Thanks to Jason at Barnabas Junction for the handover there. I was listening in to the end there. Let's pull the old chat up and see who's in there. Oh, so far we have Anthony Dodge, the model train outsider. Good evening, Anthony. Hot dog pilot Andy. Good evening. How are you? Got Woolsack Scenic PW. How you doing? Mick 92, Flymo chairman. Brian Madden's in. Timber Surf. Good evening, guys. Hope you're all keeping well. Let's just tell me that Barnabas Junction and their viewers just joined. Say hello. So hi to anybody who's watching on Barnabas Junction and welcome over. Tom Houston Model Rail, Graham at Leamington Station, Tom Couples, Martin O'Keefe. Welcome, guys. Peter Jackson, Tudor Heath, SJ TrainWorld. How is everyone doing? You can see here, done a little bit more work on the winter layout. So what I plan to do is do some more plaster Paris bandage on here, do some work around the viaduct here. We've got to do a little bit of work down here. So I thought I'd leave that tonight. It is roasting hot here in Donegal tonight. It is so warm, very sticky. One of the benefits is plaster cast is drying really quickly. So hopefully I get a good bit of this done. You can see I've done this side here. There'll actually be a video on this bit coming out, not tomorrow, but Friday. I've actually got ahead of myself. I've got a video in the can ready to go out next week. Tomorrow's video is going to be on the lighting that I've done here. So you'll see that tomorrow. It's out at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Channel members, of course, would have already seen it. And a big thank you to my channel members. Do check out their links down below. It's great to have their support to help me buy bits and pieces for the models in the museum, which is where all the money from this channel goes to. 28 degrees C with Andy. Well, it's about 25, 26 here, which is way too warm for Donegal. In fact, I have a camera pointing out the window. Let me just add that. So you can see it doesn't quite pick up the blue skies, but it's getting hazy here. The sun will be setting now shortly, about the next hour. But it is scorching here. So as usual, guys, don't forget to hit the like button for me and subscribe if you're new here. And if you have any questions, pop them into the chat and I'll try and answer them, or someone else in the chat may answer them for me. Oh, I see Digger's popped in. Hi, Digger. Mark Hameldown Model Railway, how you doing? See anybody else pop in that I haven't spotted? Hello to you if you've popped in. I haven't said hello. But yeah, it's very warm here in Donegal. Not used to this heat at all. So I have some Dr. Pepper tonight to keep me hydrated. Oh, Brian finished Central. Good evening, Brian. How you doing? I felt lost without my spanner. You do have a spanner. What did I miss there? Oh, John from Piccadilly Model Railways. How you doing, John? Howard Pomfret. Back from Spain. 29 degrees. Oh, it's hot here. It's Chris Valley 56. Good evening, Chris. How you doing? Or is it Ben? No, it's Chris. Say how terrible with names. In case you don't know, I am going to get, and do come up and say hello. And if I can't remember your name and I'm looking with that blank expression, I am terrible with names. So just remind me your name. So I'll be like, Yes, it is Chris at Valley 56. Oh, and I can hear the dragons are out on the bay again tonight because they've started their drumbeat. So I know some of the videos I've done in here in the evenings, it has picked up. So if you ever watch any of my videos, you can hear this doom, doom, doom in the background. It's the women's dragon boat team out practicing on the bay. Sean Ricard, good evening, sir. How are you doing? Right, I shall put this over here so I can keep an eye on the chat. May have noticed, actually, if I put on this other camera, I'm sure that's picking up. You can see I've put a board in this end and I've won the other end, and probably just out of shot, but I've started cutting wood for the inclines. I think it's been so nice, dry and warm here in the evenings. I've been able to get outside, get some wood cut. I think I need to get a new blade because the edges on these are very rough. They're going to need to rub down with a bit of sandpaper, take the splinters off. So let's carry on. I need to put another layer of plaster of Paris on here. And then we'll let that dry. It's probably going to take about 20 minutes to dry. And then I can go over it with my watery plaster mix I use just to smooth out the surface. So let me just move the camera over a little bit more. If I can. Bear with me a second, guys. I do have a chair I brought in so I could try and balance this all. Right. How's that looking? Yeah, Digger, it will take 5 minutes in this heat. It is, I was doing some last night in here, and as I was putting it on and go to the next piece, it was drying. So I have some plaster bandage pre-cut left over from last night, so I'm just going to carry on with this. Just normal plaster bandage. I'm sure you all know this, but one side's smooth, one side's a bit rough. You have the rough side up. Just dip it in some water. Let the excess water on and just put it on. Now, it's always easier with the second layer because you've got something a bit firm to press down on to just smooth it out. Also, if you're doing this, you may need to use gloves because some of this plaster can be quite caustic and can cause skin irritation. And you want to sort of do a 50% overlap. But what you can do when you're doing it is just get a brush, keep the brush wet, and just rub it over, and that will help disperse some of the plaster and flatten down the edges. So it feels good to actually be doing some work and some modeling. I'll try and keep one eye on the chat, so you got any questions or anything? Picture froze, did it? The internet has been a bit dodgy around here. I think it's more to do with my router can't handle the amount of devices. Since I moved house, I do have a fiber connection, which is supposed to give me 1,000 down and 500 up or something. But I was counting up the other night, and there's something in this house with so many people living in it between phones, tablets, TVs, and everything. And, internet speakers, what have you. There's about 40 devices connected. I think your standard router that Sky supply is not expected to keep that many devices concurrently connected. So you do get a bit of dropout. I have put in some access points in the house to take some of the strain off, but it doesn't always help. So I think I will invest in a better quality router at some point. McKing447, good evening, sir. Kieran, J94, how are you doing, Kieran? So what I'm using here is just normal plaster bandages. I think this is like a 3-inch width. I have a big box because I usually buy my plaster bandage in a big, I think it's, I'll show you in a minute. You know what I didn't bring in was something to dry my hands when I've done this. A big box fit, 80 meters long by 6 inches wide. Because you can pick up a box of that for about 30 quid, so that's loads. But I had a load of these little rolls. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to use these rolls for this, just to get them done out of the way. So they've been sort of kicking around. I haven't really used them. I thought, you know what, let's just get them used out of the way. Peter Jackson, Cheetah Heath. I can't remember if I said hello to you, but hello. King 447. Will a DCC run on a DC layout? Do you mean a chipped loco? Will it run on a DC? It depends on the chip. A lot of the chips have DC running on them. So it will run on a DC controller, but you need to check the paperwork with the chip to make sure it is compatible. Something I've actually never tried to do. I know some of the chips I have are supposed to be DC, but I've never tried running them. And to be honest, I probably wouldn't do it because some of the chips can be quite sensitive and not all DC controllers are created equal. I think if it was something like a Gauge Master, probably be okay because they're excellent current control and voltage control on those. Some of the cheaper sort of controllers, not so good. I mean, I know that myself from putting a multimeter on controllers just to check the voltage on them, and it can be quite, some of the controllers say they're 12 volt, but they're actually giving out 14, 15 volts. Whereas the Gauge Master ones, nice linear increase in voltage, capped off at 12. That's why you're paying top buck for a Gauge Master controller, and they come with a lifetime guarantee. Moreland Motor Railway Andy, how you doing, sir? Hope you're keeping well. Yeah, I do exactly what Andy says. Remove the chip and put in the blanking plate to be on the safe side. I wouldn't chance it. Right, I'm just going to cut off a bit more bandage. So this is what they come in, like this. I remember now, I picked up a few of these from my local chemist, my local pharmacy. I just went in and said, oh, you don't have to keep plaster. And he said, yeah, we do actually. So we keep it for the farmers for when they have animals with broken legs or whatever for patching up sheep and that sort of thing. And he gave me a few rolls. He said, you can take these because they were medical. They had a date on them. And they went out of date. But I mean, this sort of stuff, it doesn't really go out of date. Agreed, upgrade the logo to DC. The blanking plate is when you buy a loco that is DCC ready, i.e. it will run on DC, where the chip goes in, it has a little plate that sits in where the chip would go. So enabling it to run on DC. Now, if you've bought that loco secondhand or whatever, you might have the blanking plate. What I tend to do with mine when I chip them is I take the blanking plate and I stick it in the box that the loco came in, so I know exactly where it is. Oh, it's starting to go hard already. So to build this hillside, what I used was just cardboard formers, just to give it a shape, and then stuffed in the spaces in between with just some old bubble wrap I had from moving house. And I think it just gives a nice shape. It's quick, it's easy. I don't like using Celotex. I think Celotex is great if you want to create a cliff face or a stone face, but it's very messy if you want to do a hillside. You end up chipping a lot of it away. Doing this is a lot quicker. Just a couple of formers just to hold everything in, fill it with bubble wrap. Then I put a couple of tape, bits of masking tape across it just to hold everything in place. And then just lay the plaster bandage over the top. And it just takes a nice shape. Right, I think that's enough for now. We'll let that dry for a little bit. Let me just move the camera a minute, and I'm just going to disappear and wash my hands a second. I didn't think of that. Whenever I wander away from the camera with my radio mic on, I'm always reminded of that scene out of Naked Gun, where Drebin goes off to the toilet with his mic still on. Right, so how do you get big box of plaster like this? And it comes in slabs. Let's find the end of it. So you get this sort of thing here. You get 4 slabs of 20 meters. So you get 80 meters of this in total, which is plenty, as you can imagine. So I've got this one's almost gone, and I've got another full box that I got in preparation for doing my layout that I was building in my last house. I thought, great. But we all know what happened there. Model Railway Shed, Dino. How you doing, Dino? Oh, Mark, Standover Model Railway. How you doing? I think we're all struggling in this heat. don't know if you heard, what's the name of that comedian? Big tall guy, used to be teacher. Is it Craig Davis? He tells a similar story when he was a teacher of going to the toilet, and he was working in he had some kids who had hearing impairments. So he was mic'd up and he went off to the toilet. He said he came back to the class and just seen the look on the deaf children there who'd been listening with their implants. He had a curry the night before, so that you can imagine how the toilet went. Let's just check the chat, see if anybody else has come in. Yeah, there was a story. I seen some aircraft, somebody had explosive problem. Just shouldn't say that about an aircraft, but it wasn't. Explosive brown problem, shall we say. And so they left it all up the aisle and everything, and they had to turn the plane around and go back because there was that much of a mess in there. Can you imagine being that person on there, everybody looking at you thinking you wrecked the holiday, we got to turn around and go around, you've left this all up the aeroplane, and we're going to post it all over social media. Ironville, good evening. How are you doing? Yeah, poor unfortunate soul. Right, what am I going to do now? Let's see how this is. All right, so let's see, where's the camera actually pointing? So this is my viaduct. I'm going to have to just lift it up a little bit. I've made just cut some piers. That is just 2x1 shaped. They just sit under, but they need to come up a couple of mils. So I've got some cardboard here I'm going to put underneath it, and I can glue those in place and paint them. Oh, that's terrible, Mark. If you're working outside in this weather and no one offers you a drink, I guess when the sun's out, I cannot stand. I don't know how people can lay on a beach when they're on summer holidays, and I can't do that. I'm the one trying to find the shade. Oh, for painting over when I'm done, I just use this. It's just cheap paint. Like this is £2 a bottle just for putting a base coat on. So you have a brown layer and put your grassing stuff on top. And Bill, hi Tom, doing well. Not yet started a railway, it's in the planning. Yeah, I spent about 20 years planning a model railway while my kids were small and that sort of thing before I had space to build a model railway. This now will be my third build in the past 3-4 years because I've moved house. It's dark in my house, all the blinds are shut. Hi Joshua, how you doing? You were doing your leaving, weren't you? How'd you get on? Did you get the points you needed? Yeah, see, most of my life has been spent working indoors in offices. You know, there's not a lot of offices in the UK and Ireland that are air conditioned. So when it is hot, and it's always hotter when you're in the city as well. Like I'm out in the countryside here, and it's a lot cooler, and you get a bit of shade, and there is a breeze, and I can go down to the beach and jump into the sea and cool off. We did 90%. That's good, Joshua. You heading off to college? Yeah, my daughter done very well, so she's heading off to college now in a couple of weeks. We're all very proud of her. So that's 2 I'll have in college now. So no more Cura scale for me. Oh, just so you guys know as well, as you know, the money I generate from this channel is going towards the model railways in the museum. So all the channel members and everything like that, any super chats or anything like that, that's where it all goes. I am keeping the money aside at the moment because I'm looking to buy some new locos for the layouts in there, because the ones there are just frankly worn out. So that's what I'll hopefully be doing over the next couple of months with the money as it comes in, is buying a few little locos to go in there. I've also looking at been in touch with a few people who do 009 stuff. They've come back with me some stuff on that, so I'm going to be getting some of that as well. I'm working outside, make sure there's a pub close by. Oh yeah, Chris, that was always the best thing, the server room. Where I worked, we had a massive big server room where we hosted loads of servers for different companies, and it was always great. Oh, I just need to go in there. Just go and stand in there right at the back so no one could see you. So it had glass walls all the way around it, so you stood at the back. Hi, everyone's on. Good evening. How are you doing? I don't think I said hello to you already. Andy Dobson, good evening. How are you doing, sir? Don't forget to hit the like button for me, guys, and subscribe if you're new here. If you got any questions, pop them in the chat. I had a great suggestion from, I can't remember who it was suggested, but they contacted me on Facebook, on the Donegal Dad Facebook page, said they were watching, but they couldn't comment on YouTube. You know, I was saying about my plan for this, and I said, why don't I have a derelict station? I thought that's a good idea. You know, have a derelict station, an old station house that maybe is slightly in ruins, or somebody's converted to a house, and I thought that would make an interesting thing on the layout. $70 to send to the US. It is surprisingly expensive to send stuff abroad. You know, it's like I'm lucky where I live, because if I want to send anything in Europe, I live in Europe. If I want to send anything to the UK, 10 miles up the road, I'm in Northern Ireland, the UK, and I can use the Royal Mail to post something. But to post anything to like Australia, New Zealand, America, it's really expensive. And it doesn't matter whether you use any of the couriers or the post or whatever. It's just mad. Right. My God, that's practically dry already. That's how warm it is. Was it 10 minutes ago I done that and it's already dry? Right, I'm going to do what make up my wash that I use for going over plaster. Basically, it's just a watery mix, so sort of the consistency of milk, single cream. Use polyfiller or plaster of some sort. I've got some old plaster here. It's not the best. It's not. It's what I use for casting my molds and that when I'm making walls and that sort of thing. But I used to have, I think it's called Crystal beforehand, and that was very good. But everyone recommended Herculite, and I got to say, I think the Crystal stuff's a lot better because the Herculite just doesn't seem to. I can't get the mixing of it right. Whether I just got a duff bag that, but it seems very clumpy and it just wouldn't mix very well. So there's a place up in Belfast, in Newton Abbey, that does casting powders and resin and everything, because I'm going to have to get some resin now to do the river. So next time I'm up there, which will be in a couple of weeks, so I have to pick my daughter up from the airport. So I will put an order in and pick it up. Could get it posted, but being like a 25-kilo bag of plaster, it's as much as postage as it is for the bag of plaster. Yeah, the viaduct is one of the Metcalfe viaducts. Obviously, it's got the walls to go on the side, but I'm going to have to do some sort of use the spare paper that comes with here to build this up along here and put the walls up along this side. So here's the plaster water mix. So it's just for any, you just use polyfiller, that sort of thing, and all I do is just use a paintbrush and just paint it on. Usually 2 coats is enough, and it just goes over and it fills all the holes in, smooths out the edges. Of course, you can also use Sculptamold. I've never actually used Sculptamold, to be honest. Maybe if I used it, I would see the point of it or why people use it, but I find you can get decent enough shapes with the method I use. And also when you're putting scenery on top and grass and trees and bushes and everything, sort of like this might look a bit smooth, but once you rough it up with, you know, your static grass and your coverage and trees and bushes and flowers and everything, it looks the part. So the idea is, as you brush this on, you keep agitating the water so it doesn't start setting. And start at the top and work your way down, because it does run. So then you can just rub it in. I don't know how much of this you guys are actually seeing, because I'm probably stood in the way. Actually, I might get away with just one pass of this because this stuff's going on quite well. Yeah, so I say this is just a mixture of plaster or polyfiller or something like that, watery mixture, by the consistency of cream, you know, single cream. Just I'll give you a close up now. So usually 1-2 coats is enough. And it just helps smooth out the edges of the plaster, fill in any holes. So this will be ready for painting in the morning. Well, not in the morning, but tomorrow afternoon. Let me just I'll tell you what, I'll put that on single screen so you can just have a look. Camera's going to move. You can see there how now all the plaster holes have been finished in. Now some of them will appear as that dries, so you just go over it again. Right, we just check back on the chat, see if I missed anything. No, it's hard off. See you, Howard. Take care, mate. Oh, you got the old Roman map, did you, Brian? Actually, that reminds me, Brian. I'm going to be in Letterkenny for an appointment on Monday. I'll be finished probably by about 11:30, 12 o'clock. I could pop out if you're about Monday morning. I could pop out and see you then. You know, get to see your layout and your plans and everything. If that's suitable for you. You can always drop me an email, or you've got my phone number, drop me a text or whatever. Yeah, it's good and solid. That's why I like using the plaster parts. Gives you a solid base, so then if you're going to drill in and put some trees in, everything's supported. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. And it's lightweight too, and it's cheap. As I say, I don't know, like I used about, I think between this and this, I used 6 rolls. So between that side there and that bit there, I used about 6 rolls, which I don't know what 6 rolls of bandage go for now. That's double layered. The supports underneath didn't cost me anything. It was just cardboard and old bubble wrap, or I've used bubble wrap, I've used paper, I've used, anything just to give it some shape. So it's quite a cheap way of doing it, and it's not as messy as using Celotex, which I think Celotex is better for rock faces and cliff faces, like what Grace is doing on RGJ trains, where they're making like the slate face like that. But for doing a hillside like this, plaster bandage barge is quick. Done a video on it before, like using 4 methods for doing it. How many of you would remember using like chicken wire as a supporting frame and putting over that? Wooden formers, cardboard, just having a lump of scrunched up newspaper and using it. Yeah, Brian, just text me your air code and let me know, and then I'll let you know Monday roughly what time, because these appointments, they can run over, and because I have to be back in Donegal for 2:30. Yeah, I'm probably not going to get much modeling done this weekend because I mate of mine does drama and I get roped in to help him. So I've got to go and help him put some kitchen cabinets up on a set. So I've got to build some framework and stuff for that. So as long as I'm not on stage, I'll do the stuff backstage. But right, so has anybody, because I've never used resin for creating water effect. So it's gonna be the first time I'm using it. Oh, I just noticed I just skited up there. Wipe that off before it dries. That's the other thing when you're doing plaster Paris, you should cover what you're doing. Something like this, if I can't move it, I'll put some cling film or something over it just to protect it. Mask and tape across the track, which I didn't do here. So yeah, has anybody, so I'm looking for some advice now, done resin for water? So I'm wondering about sealing this wood. If I put a layer of bandage down and plaster over the top of it, will that be enough to seal it? Or would I need to then varnish that with some matte varnish? Or I believe you can get some, oh, I got my back to you, sorry. I believe you can get some paint to seal it, can't you? So anybody got any advice on that? Valley Green, how are you doing? You're keeping well? The problem with using real water, Joshua, is it doesn't scale properly. It doesn't look right. Because I've seen layouts where they've used water and pumps and everything like that, and it just doesn't look right. Acrylic matte varnish to be safe. All right, thanks, John. Yeah, using Celotex for something like that, Mark, is great for shaping and stuff like that, and for using flat faces and doing rock faces and stuff. It's great, but I think when you're doing it for a hillside like I've done here, you end up hacking a lot of it away and making a big mess. And I know that stuff is insulation, it's supposed to be environmentally friendly, but when you're hacking bits off and that's going to the landfill, it's not that environmentally friendly. So something like this, where I'm actually using clean plastic and cardboard and stuff to go in there, is, you know, a form of recycling. Yeah, I think I have your number, Brian, because didn't I WhatsApp you? Didn't you, when you contacted me when you were in Glasgow at the model shop? Or am I thinking of someone else, which, you know, could be possible? Oh, I was away, Valerie. I was away in Bristol at the time. I was planning to go, but then something came up and I had to head to Bristol. There was a funeral I had to go to. I understand you've had a loss as well, so I'm very sorry to hear that, Valerie. I hope you're doing okay. My condolences to you and your family. Yeah, so I think because I've actually, yeah, you can see it here. Using these bits of wood here, which I'm going to paint and seal, because I've got some waterproof PVA. So I was going to paint that and then go over it with some waterproof PVA, because that should dry clear and give it a seal the wood. So because I'm worried about the resin soaking into the wood as well, and maybe over the floor. And as John from Piccadilly says, go over it with some acrylic matte varnish. So obviously I want to paint it at the bottom so it gives some color. Oh, is Anthony away? Okay, Anthony, take care. Okay, we've seen XPW. Yeah, that's what I was going to do. Paint the bottom to give the look I want, and then seal the gaps and obviously dam it so it doesn't spill out. Use UV resin for the first layer to coat everything, then normal resin after. Okay. And is there any particular resin people would recommend? Because I know WW Scenics do one, Woodland Scenics do one. There's various other ones on the market. The Mesty exhibition was quite underwhelming. I was at Valerie, so I didn't miss too much then. It's still nice to get up and just chat to people as well, you know? I always like looking at the layouts because they always give you ideas. And I recommend to anyone who's new to this is go to shows, have a look around, see what people have done. You know, it doesn't matter what the scale is. Go and have a look at it, see what other people have done. The great thing about having YouTube now is you can check out other people's channels and the stuff they've done. And it's always great to join a club for advice. Like this Thursday evening is a bit like a club. I won't step on Jenny's shoes by saying it's Thursday club as she has the Monday club. Never actually thought of a name for my Thursday night live stream. There's a military model channel called Night Shift who does dioramas. And yeah, some of those, if you're looking for scenery and stuff like that, a lot of those guys who do the wargaming and military dioramas and stuff like that, they do some fantastic modeling. And they're great to watch. And hands on. Yeah, I could do that. I could cut it out and add something underneath. I don't know if I need to. Hi, Leslie. How you doing? Hope we're keeping well. Been watching your videos with my young lad again. He likes sitting there watching them with me. It's great to have those videos on in the background when I'm doing some modeling. Oh, Valerie, are you having problems seeing other people's comments? I know in other streams people are having problems as well. I don't know what it is. YouTube are making a lot of changes recently, and like they brought a new thing in where you could schedule your videos, so you could show it to your channel members and then schedule it to go live. And then last week that disappeared and you couldn't do it. And it's back. And we've got my missus outside the window pointing her phone at me. She's obviously filming me for some reason. What was I saying? Yeah, and it was back this week, so I could schedule it again. So I don't know. YouTube's a mystery, and they're changing all this stuff now with links and the advertising. So you can't. I don't think you can choose the sort of ads, because I would like to choose skippable ads, so if people get onto they can skip it. And I don't put mid-roll ads online, but then I've seen some of my videos where YouTube have gone and put videos in the middle of them. And so I'd say to anybody out there who isn't monetized or has over 1,000 and could be monetized, but they choose not to, do it, because YouTube put ads on your stuff anyway. Yeah, that could be it. As it Flymo said there, you could be on top chat, and I've just actually noticed I'm on top chat here, not on live chat. So I may have missed a few people's comments. Oh, actually, it won't let me change. Why is that? Yeah, YouTube just seems to put ads in anyway and where they want. Because it's quite often I'll come in and I'll find my young lad watching my videos. I'm like, right, okay. And then an ad will appear in the middle of it. I'm like, that's set not to have ads in the middle. Yeah, Joshua, sometimes it's not the creator who's putting those unskippable ads in, it's YouTube. Oh, they dropped it to 500 subscribers or above. All right, okay. My daughter reminded me, it was earlier on today or yesterday, she was checking something and she realized my channel's been going for about 3 years now. And she was like, I think they were surprised that I'm still doing it. She thought I would have given it up after 6 months. To be honest, I'm surprised I'm still doing it. Use an ad blocker. Oh, Brian, take the ad blocker off when you're watching mine, please, because you know that an ad on mine would probably make me about 0.001 of a cent. Yeah, but sometimes because when I first started, I did a lot of mid-roll ads, and they just put so many in and stuck them in everywhere. And they said, "Oh, we put them in a natural break," and it was like, "Well, no, you haven't." And there was no real way of saying, "I just want one ad here." Now they may be changing that to do that, but at the time they couldn't. Okay, put ads between words, yeah. Little fish, big pond. Yeah, that's it. Like, I'm a very small creator. I don't mean much to YouTube, but like, you can blatantly see the bigger creators who, have millions of followers, and that they are allowed to get away with a lot more because they bring in a lot of ad revenue for YouTube. Right, my phone is going off there. I thought I put that on silent. Just check it in case it's anything important. Nope. They are going to allow ads in live streams. Oh, does that mean my live stream is going to be interrupted by an ad? Great. That's going to encourage people to watch live streams, isn't it? Anyway, this has turned into a discussion about YouTube. Have anybody got any model railway questions or railway questions they want answered? Yeah, that is going to be dried nicely, and I think I got most of it covered there with that wash, so I'll need another slight light covering tomorrow, and it'll be, if I get that done in the morning before I go to work, then it'll be dry to paint tomorrow evening. Because I'm going to be here by myself tomorrow evening, because the missus is going to be out on the town tomorrow evening, so I'll have some peace. Which inland revenue do you pay? I pay two. I pay in the Republic of Ireland, and I also pay the United Kingdom, because I work in both jurisdictions, so it depends where I'm working as to who I pay. No, it's not that you have to earn 60 quid or more a month. It's that they won't pay you till you've reached 60 quid. So like I take in about 35, 40 a month. So I get paid every 2 months. It's about to buy for I see an ad for, so I'm starving and have no PC games. How am I going to block off the front of the viaduct? Do you mean here, or do you mean along here? Because basically this here is not going to be seen. I'm going to put sort of a board along here, just paint it. What I may do is actually make some of these a cutout, because as everyone knows, this is the winter layout. So this might become a small display case for something in here. And then the rest just boarded off. So, some sort of, dare I say that word, but Christmas ornament or something in there. Because this is to go into the window for that time of the year. Oh, you mean around here? Well, obviously I'm going to create a dam along here when I do the pour. So there'll be something screwed here to create a dam. So like the way I'm thinking is the water will probably only maybe come through these two. And this might be just a higher rocky area that, obviously only comes through when there's a flood. So it might be just these sections here that, sorry, I stand from the canvas, these sections here that have water, and these will be more scenic, sort of grassy, coming down to a stony surface, maybe a trickle of water coming through. So what I have to work on is fixing this in place, getting that in place, doing these bits of wood, getting them fixed in place, painting it and getting it ready for the resin, which is going to be a couple of weeks yet. On the top here, I'm obviously got the rail this side. I'm going to put a road on this side, so there'll be a little bit of grass in between, and so it's just a road connecting the two stations. Yeah, exactly, Leslie, something like that, a little grotto. Yeah, I'm going to put something along there to block it. So obviously the water would come around here. So let's say the water will just come through these two, maybe a trickle either side. As I say, it's going to be a bit of a learning process because I've never done a water pour before. Go to town with flashing LEDs and elves. Hi, Robert. How you doing? Well, I have got well, you'll see on the video tomorrow that I've put flicker LEDs in. We've seen it on previous live streams anyway, on the in the stations and the little halts, and I put a flickering blue LED in the signal box, so it looks like the signal guy's watching TV. Not that he would be, but this is meant to be a fun sort of Christmas layout. Sorry, I mean winter layout. Yeah, don't worry. I will be making doubly sure, because if any of that gets on the floor onto the carpet that's in here, I will be. Well, that'll be the end of the live streams, and Donegal Dad, you won't see me again. Nifty scene with fancy troll figures. Yeah, I think I don't think my family would be a fan of that. Yeah, along here there will be a little bit of landform, because obviously that, you can see where this block comes out here. So yeah, there will be a bit of landform here, and the same on the other side. And then I need to do something here again. That might be just some more stone paper just to carry this on a little bit, because I am only dealing with something that's about 10 inches deep here. And a Yeti with a Christmas hat. I do want to do that sort of thing on the main layout, is have these hidden little Easter eggs, like they have on the Making Tracks, where they have, is it crows and Superman and stuff like that, little things in there, just so kids come along, you can give them a little quiz sheet and go, see if you can find this, and have a separate quiz sheet for the dads, because they've got to find something different. Because I remember there was I was working in Norwich, and there was this big sort of model shop, and they had a big layout in there, and they had these certain things hidden on it, some for adults, some for children. So you have to go and find things like the Yeti, and then there was also so many sunbathers, female sunbathers you had to find. Spring Cottage Model Railway, good evening. How are you doing? Long time subscriber, first time live. Well, you're very welcome. A little potching still, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Oh, Jerry BVR, how you doing? I don't think I said hello to you. Distracted by the lawnmower. It's too hot for that. Yeah, the Grinch. Yeah, I think I mentioned that last week. Weisman animated scenes because they have some unusual ones. Because I seen one of the Weisman track. I'm probably not even saying that properly. The track dampeners, dampeners. At a show, and then I went to their website to see how much they were, and it was like, oh, I'm not going to be getting one of them. But then it was all the animated figures they had and everything. It was like, guy peeing, pole dancer. There was some other other ones. I was thinking, where would you put that on a layout? No, it wasn't Great Eastern Models in Norwich. It was somewhere outside. It was somewhere between Norwich and Stansted, because that's where I was driving to, and I passed it, and that's how I came across it. I think this is going back a few years now, probably 6-7 years, and I think it was on the verge of closing down when I was there because it was very run down and empty. So it's probably gone now. But I did go into Eastern Models, and if you're ever over that way, that is a great model shop. I bought a load of teak LNER coaches in there. Behind the bike sheds. Team's video call. Tie-shirt, boxer shorts under the desk. We were all doing that during lockdown. You just had the section behind your camera was tidy. Everything else was in a mess. Yeah, well, we all knew this good weather was coming. As soon as all the kids went back to school, sun came out. It was like here in June when the exams were on, fantastic weather. All the poor kids stuck in the exam halls. Then July rolls around, and it was a pretty miserable, wet July and August here. Yeah, the Connemara down there. I must get down there to see Jim Deegan because I met him a few times. He's been up with us a few times. He's doing great work down there. So I'm very, very envious and jealous of that with people who can get their bits of track down and get something going. Yeah, it's looking good down there. They've got an old Caledonian sleeper in there. They've bought in because the local hotel is got Ukrainians in it, so there's nowhere for people to stay when they come and volunteer on it. So they got to set that out for volunteers to stay in. Don't bother my kid at all as we upgraded the fibre. Yeah, the fibre is great. That's one thing about moving into this house, having been able to have fibre is. I was supposed to break on Saturday, is it? Yeah, it's a good idea because if you've got somewhere for people to stay, they'll come over and make a busman's holiday. They'll come over and volunteer and work on it for a couple of days and spend a couple of days sightseeing. You know, I thought that was something I thought of doing myself if we ever get up and going here, is have something like that so you can get people to come over, help you build the things, you know, even if it's, you know, paint something or dig a hole or put a fence post in it, you know, it all helps. You know, just get a couple of old coaches from somewhere and just turn them into rooms, and then you could always do Airbnb in it. Museum Railway now has a 6-axle Metropod sleeping car as a holiday. That's a great idea. So that's something I was. Oh, well, good luck with recording your video, Joshua. Yes, Jerry. 22 degrees, unnatural for Ireland, especially unnatural for Donegal. As I say, usually in Donegal, we know it's summer because the rain's slightly warmer. I'll I'll try that, Graham. I was looking at getting a beefier router because like I do have over 40 devices hanging off it. You know, there's 9 of us in this house, and between the tablets and phones and TVs and PCs and laptops and internet speakers, and so I put up a few access points to try and spread the load a little bit. But like at the moment for this room, I'm running a cable out the door wrapped around the light in the hallway down to the router, which the missus isn't very fond of. I said, oh, it's only temporary. It's been hanging across the hallway for a week now. It's just the to actually run cables in this house is very hard because it's all solid walls and concrete ceilings. So it's not so that if you can lift up floorboards and run a cable, it's all concrete. It's only temporary if it stops working. Yeah. What time is it anyway? Oh, it's 9:15. I'm going for an hour, 15 minutes. Yeah, so as I said, video out tomorrow is on the lighting I've done on here. So work to do on this layout is I have to finish off the lighting. I have a bit more soldering to do down this end. Obviously, if I get all this done, then next week we can do some of the scenic stuff on here. Because I've got some of that static grass snow from WWS, which I've never used before. So it'd be interesting to do a little bit over here and just see how it works, see how it looks, see how effective it is. 900 watts if it drops to 12, yeah. Oh, I see, Graham. That's very good. Nothing is more staying power than a temporary solution. Yeah, income tax was temporary. Yeah, that was brought in. And I think that was came in temporary as well to pay for something. And that's been around for years. Yeah, so I was saying hopefully next week we'll do some static grassing on here. I'm probably going to do a sample section just to see how it works and how it looks. Over the weekend, tomorrow evening, I'm going to try and get this bit sorted. Maybe get the road in as well. And then I just have to sort out, whoops, this end for the houses and stuff that are going on there. So I need to put another bit of wood in there to support them. Yeah, and then that'll be that. And then, so yeah, a couple of weeks now, it should be pretty much taking shape. So I got a bit of soldering to do down here with these wires, get them all in place. I've actually got to do the work on the little Coca-Cola DMU as well. And I want to make some buffer stops with lights in it to put at either end as well, and an extra feature. And then I need to put figures and vehicles on it. I've got some little cars with lights in them, so I might put some of them on there as well. Again, I think something with lights on it and everything, it makes it all a bit more interesting. And plus the fact you can just have all the lights on there and you don't have to have the train running up and down, because, you know, train can be a bit noisy and a bit annoying if you're watching TV or whatever, so switch that bit off, but you can still have the lights on. I just the chat again. I don't know what I missed. Yeah, I got some of those power line adapters, and they're quite good. Like, there's pretty modern wiring in this, so they do work pretty well. But I only get 60, 70 megs over them, even though they're supposed to do 300 or 600 or something like that, but you never get that much. It's like a job for Captain Static. Yeah, come on over. You can do it, Mark. Low care that is renamed to. Oh, is that the movie one? Yeah, Deserted Station. That's not bad idea. Dwayne, Superior Junction Railway. Dwayne Miller. How are you doing, Dwayne? I hope you're keeping well. It's a new name here. You're welcome to the stream. How do you get power lines to multi-ports? Well, you can, like they sell them in Asda, the TP-Link ones, and you can get one. So you have the main one that you plug in to the socket beside your router, and then you have you can get 2 or 3 of them coming off that, and you just you connect them sort of daisy chain them off each other, if you know what I mean. And some of them will have built-in Wi-Fi, so you can have Wi-Fi around, but I just use them for Ethernet connection. Yeah, don't use them on extension leads, just plug them straight into the wall. $50 megs, so 45 down and 5 up. It's a bit slow fly mode, but for yourself, that's fine. I mean, you need 2 up to live stream. It's sort of a minimum. Okay, Peter, you heading off now? Take care, mate. Yeah, that reminds me, my passport, I had to send my passport off because I was renewing my driver's license and it hasn't come back yet. And I need to travel at the end of this month. And they said, oh, it'll take 2 weeks for it to come back. And it's been 3 weeks and there's no sign of it. If I can't travel at the end of the month, I'll be annoyed. I'll be annoyed as well if I can't travel to Getz because my passport's disappeared and I have to get a new one. And the thing about traveling to Ireland as well from the UK, if you're getting a flight, say, from into Belfast, that's seen as an internal flight. You don't need a passport. You just need a form of ID, like a driver's license. Well, that's if you're flying with EasyJet. Ryanair always insist on having a passport no matter what you're doing. Keep teasing you about parking outside your house. Okay, well, yeah, I can't wait to get. So I seen you on your live stream. You're going to Getz as well, Brian. I was thinking, oh, great, I'll get some bargains. And I seen you were going, and I thought, oh, that's it. Bargains are gone. Won't get them. Wombles fan, hello. How are you doing? No, I'll be traveling with Ryanair, and Ryanair, the only form of ID they'll accept is a passport. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Getz as well. It sounds like there's going to be a good few people there, so I'm looking forward to it. Mark, I'm not buying much of anything at all. All right, Brian. To be honest, Timber Surf, I'm going to be there, but I think I'm going to be pretty skint as well, so I don't think I'll be buying much either. Oh, you're staying in the same place as me? Great. It seems a bit out of the way, that place, but it'll be grand. Like, as I say, whenever I'm traveling, because I've stayed in hotels so much with work and stuff like that, ever I'm staying in a hotel, I just want the cheapest, decent hotel where I can just sleep, because that's all you do in a hotel, is sleep. I never see the point in spending hundreds for a night when all you do is sleep there. And I'm the sort of person who doesn't sit down and have an evening meal. I'm used to eating on the move. So whether it's stopping in W.H. Smith's or Marks and Spencer's or whatever for their meal deal or whatever, or Tesco's, go and get that. Sending a drone with my credit card. Yeah, when I went to book my ticket, they said the VIP tickets were sold out. So I'm sorry, I'm slumming it. Not like you VIPs, Brian. Almost fine. Not at the moment because I'm building my layout at the moment. But actually, I suppose I can. Hang on. I can actually put this on and just for. Hang on, bear with me, guys. I'll just plug this in and I'll get the old Coca-Cola shuttle. Oh, I must have disturbed some of the wiring now because some of the lights aren't working. Right, where did I put it? Bear with me as I crawl in there. Yeah, Wombles fan, if you stay tuned to this channel as I build my layout, there will be trains running. A few months away yet, but keep checking in. I'll get this, let this one run up and down for you. Oop. Okay, Tom, take care. And Andy's away as well. Take care, guys. I'll catch you again. So you can see there where the flickering light is in the little HUD. I'm just looking at it now, the way it's, I'm also going to have to paint the inside of that black because it is, the light's not just, there's a light bleed coming out through the walls where the walls are so thin, so a bit of black in there will do that the world of good. Yeah, that's it, Mark. As far as I know, I remember, EasyJet, as long as you photo ID, because you're traveling, it's an internal flight, you're not leaving the country. But, you know, if you're going to do that, I would double check with EasyJet before if you're planning to do that. But yeah, it was always the way. Now, Ryanair, if it doesn't matter whether it's an internal flight or not, they will only accept a passport. Yeah, so if you fly from, like I fly from Bristol to Belfast quite a lot, and that's esteemed as an internal flight. So, of course, the other thing is you fly via Dublin, you now get duty free. Not that I drink or smoke, so it really doesn't make much difference to me. Okay, Dino, take care, mate. I'll catch you again. Yeah, once you're in Belfast, you can just drive across the border. There's no checkpoints or border controls. You just drive straight across the border. The only way you know you've crossed the border is the road signs change. Like from where I live, as the crow flies, it's about 9 miles, 10 miles to the border. Yeah, it would be a bit messy, all right, if we did. It's amazing how dirty a track can get just sitting there. Of course, it doesn't help that I've spilt a little bit of plaster on the rails. Yes, indeed, it does, Digger. There's a lot of agreements that people don't realize in the Good Friday Agreement, especially, and the agreements before that, that supersede anything the EU does. And they can only be changed by referendum with the people of the north or south. So at the moment, with Brexit and everything, it is actually a golden opportunity for Northern Ireland, the way it's uniquely situated, one leg in Europe and one leg in the UK. Yeah, so like if you want to come to the Republic, you can, as far as I know, with EasyJet, you just need a form of ID, which is a driver's license. Internal flight to Belfast, and then you just drive across the border. There's no check at the moment. There's no checkpoints. Whether that changes in the future, which I don't think it will, because I don't think they can. Okay, John, take care. Okay, you're off as well, Brian. Yeah, I'm going to have to get going now in a minute because it's getting on and I need to go and cool off because it's very, very warm. And I can't open any windows because around here, if you open the windows with the lights on, you get all the little midges flying in and they just eat you. So this time of year, you have to sit inside with the lights off and the windows open. Yeah, a couple of times I've got the ferry across from Holyhead and Pembroke and Fishguard. You get off the other side and they just wave you through. They don't stop you. Yeah, it's gone 9 now. Do you know what, guys? I'm going to call it a night now because I need to go and get some food and cool down. Might have an ice cream. I've got some cornettos sitting in the freezer. I might go and have one of them if my kids haven't eaten them all on me. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Got a little bit of the scenery work done here. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. And thanks for watching. I'll catch you all next week, guys. Video out tomorrow on the lighting on this layout, so you get to see how that's done. And so the video next week will be more about how I built the mountainsides here, the method I used. So I'll catch you all next week and in the stream. So thanks for everyone for tuning in. Good night and take care, everyone.